Hey guys, this is Unit 1, Lesson 12. It's just using real-world problems, so story problems, with situation and solution equations. So we'll talk about that vocabulary, using those to solve addition and subtraction of mixed numbers, and then also using that estimation that we've already done to see if those answers are in fact reasonable. Okay, so Zoe had a board that is 5 1/4 feet long. She cut off a piece. Now the board is 3 5/6 feet long. How long was the piece that she cut off? So a situation equation has the unknown variable inside the equation. So if we knew that 5 1/4 was how long the board started, and then we're going to subtract B, or board, then we know that the board ended up being 3 5/6 inches long. So a situation equation just has the unknown inside the equation, whereas a solution equation then is how you would solve it. So you would end up with board equals 5 1/4 minus 3 5/6. And then you still need to find that common denominator in order to subtract. But let's think about if our answer is going to be reasonable or not. So 5 1/6, we could bump that up to 4. So 5 1/4 minus 4. Our answer should be around 1. Estimation. So we would estimate this as 5 minus 4, which equals 1. So our answer should be around 1. Okay, so now we're actually going to find that common denominator. The common denominator is 12. 5 1/4. To get 12ths, multiply by 3, multiply by 3. I get 3/12ths, so 5 3/12ths. 5 at the front. 3 5/6. To get to 12ths, multiply by 2, multiply whatever I do denominator, got to do to that numerator. So I get 10/12ths. I cannot subtract 3/12ths from 10/12ths, so I'm going to have to do some borrowing. So I'm going to cross out my 5. It's going to become a 4. I'm borrowing 12/12ths, or 1 whole. 12/12ths plus 3/12ths is 15/12ths. Now I can subtract 15/12ths from, take 10/12ths away from 15/12ths. I get 5/12ths. 4 minus 3 is 1, so 1 5/12ths is my answer. Okay, let's try another one. A rectangle has a length of 10 3/16 inches and a width of 6 7/8 inches. What's the perimeter of the rectangle? Why is that answer reasonable? Okay, so it would be length, right? Our formula for perimeter is length plus width plus width, if you don't remember that. So I'm just going to plug those numbers in. For a situation equation, I could do perimeter equals L plus 10 3/16 plus 6 7/8 plus W. Well, I know that the lengths are the same, so now I'm going to do my solution equation. Perimeter equals 10 3/16 plus 10 3/16 plus 6 7/8 plus 6 7/8. And then I know I need to find my common denominator. My common denominator for these is going to be 16ths. So I'm going to convert this. It's going to be 6 14/16. So I just multiplied by 2 plus 6 14/16. Okay, so now I'm ready to add. 10 plus 10 is 20, plus 6, 26, 32, plus that other 6. 3 plus 3 is 6. 14 14, 28. 34/16. Okay. How many 16s can I pull out of there? 2. So I get 34 and 2/16, which is equal to, oops, sorry, no equal sign here, 34 and 2/16, which is equal to 34 and 1/8. Okay, so 34 and 1/8 inches. Is my answer reasonable? If I estimated and I said 10, 20, if I bumped that up to 7, so I would say 10 plus 10 plus 7 plus 7, which equals 34. So yes, my answer is reasonable. Reasonable using estimation. All right, let's try a couple more here. Max is making trail mix. He combines 2/5 of a pound of dry fruit and 1/3 of a pound of mixed nuts. He adds sunflower seeds to make a total of 1 pound. What's the weight of the sunflower seeds? So when I'm doing a situation equation, what I'm going to think about is that I know he has 2/5 pounds, right? He adds to that 1/3 pound, and he adds to that some sunflower seeds, so S. And that equals 1 pound total, 1 LBS. LBS stands for pounds, so 1 LBS. Okay, so this is my situation equation because my S, or unknown, is within inside the equation. So now I'm going to make a solution equation. I'm going to take 1 and I'm going to subtract 2/5, so I'm using inverse operation, and then I'm going to subtract 1/3, and that's going to equal the sunflower seeds. Okay, now I need to find my common denominator because I can't do any of this without my common denominator. My common denominator with 3 and 5 is going to be 15. And I just know my basic facts. So 1 whole is 15/15. So I'm going to start with that. I'm going to convert my fifths to 15ths by multiplying by 3 and multiplying by 3. So I get 10/15. Okay, if you want to stop here and go do that subtraction, you would end up with 5/15 left over. 1/3 into 15ths times by 5. 5/15. So if I subtract 5/15 from 5/15, I get 0. Okay, so clearly the sunflower seeds didn't weigh anything. Why is the answer reasonable? The answer is reasonable. If you think about sunflower seeds, they don't weigh very much. And if we took 2/5, it's like a half, and a third is pretty close to a half, and a half and a half. All right, 1/2 plus 1/2 would equal 1 whole. So we're fairly close there. All right, found my error. Made an error. Let's correct my error. Hopefully you guys found it too, faster than me. It's right here. Miss Vilsack. 2 times 3 is 6, not 10. Hello. Let's try 6. Now let's work out the problem. Alrighty. Everybody makes mistakes. You just got to know when you made a mistake. Go back, find your error, do some corrections. Okay, so here we go. Let's try again. 15 minus 6, 9/15. How about that? And we still have minus 5/15. And we get left 4/15. Okay, so now 4/15. Sounds much better. 4/15 pounds of sunflower seeds. In DS pounds. Alrighty. At the start of a party bowl, a bowl contains 16 pints of punch. The guests drink 10 1/4 pints. Then the hosts add another 7.5 pints to the bowl. How much punch is in the bowl now? Okay, so let's do a situation equation. 16 minus 10 1/4 plus 7 1/2 equals punch. Okay, that's a solution equation. So solution equation, subtract out 16 whole, taking 10 away from it. I can't do that. I need to change it. 15 and 4/4 is the same thing as 16. Now I can subtract my 10 and 1/4. So I get 5 and 3/4. Now I'm going to add my 7 and a half. 5 and 3/4 plus 7 and 2/4. I got 2/4 by converting that half into fourths. So I get 5/4 and 12 and 5/4. 5/4 improper fraction, so it converts to 1 and 1/4. Add that to that 12 equals 13 and 1/4. Again, that would be reasonable. If you think about 16 minus 10 would be 6, then 6 plus 7 would be 13, so I would have another reasonable answer.